Good morning, everyone. It is Sunday, October 6th, first Sunday of the month. And we are in Houston, Texas. I am Harvey Aronson, one of the resident teachers here at Don Mountain in Houston, Texas, along with my partner, Ann Klein. We do a very, very simple mindfulness of the breath, along with chanting a sacred syllable in Tibetan. So for the mindfulness of the breathing, we are setting our focus on the process of breathing and actually placing and then settling our attention into that process to the point of, if possible, getting lost in that process. Losing our ordinary sense of a kind of reflecting, thoughtful, external, some self that is doing all this, and we are a process. We are a process. If some kind of distraction arises, we just let it dissipate. Just let it dissipate. Thought or feeling, we just let it have its natural process. If we get completely lost in thought or feeling, we'll come to. And when we come to, if you like, just to mark the end and the transition, you might say something like thinking, or imagining. And you bring your attention back to the breath. Depending where you are in your development of this practice, if you're way, way early in your practice of it, you may find you really need to use a lot of focus and a lot of energy to focus on the breath at the nostrils or at the throat or in your belly, 3 or 4 finger widths down and 3 or 4 finger widths in. But as you develop your practice, you may notice you can be more and more relaxed. Just let it be easy. Easy, light touch. That's mindfulness of the breath. The practice of chanting is a little bit different. Here we are using our breath, our sound, our ears. We say the syllable hung twice. I like to think of it as Hoong in English. Hung. It is a sacred syllable. It is a syllable resonant with the wisdom of Buddha. Hung. Within the Indian and Tibetan worldview, resonating the sound resonates the reality. Resonating the sound resonates the reality. By sounding the sound of Buddha, our mind can resonate Buddha. It's a profound view. Hung. And we put all of our attention, all of our breath, all of our sound into our focus, both sounding and hearing the syllable. And again, if there are thoughts or feelings, we let them pass. If we get completely lost, if you like, you can just note it by, thinking, or imagining, and bring your practice back to chanting Hong, Hong. I like to do the mindfulness for about 10 minutes and then the chanting for about 5 minutes. And then we sometimes do slightly shorter versions, but to begin with, to start with 10 minutes of mindfulness and 5 minutes of chanting. So allow yourself to be sitting comfortably, whether it's on the floor or on a chair. If you're on a chair, please have your feet squarely on the floor, settled, flat. With your back comfortably straight, not stiff. We like to have our chin tucked down a little bit. That tends to elongate the neck, which is considered to be good for the energy practice. And we have 3 pillars of support that we start with. We sense how we're sitting. Now, it turns out that our sense of touch is very, very much in the present. It's absolutely present. So feel what it's like to be sitting and supported. Sometimes we imagine something like some sort of cable or rope stretching from the bottom of our tailbone all the way to the bottom of the earth, to the center of the earth. And because we're on a globe, we each can be tethered to the center of the earth in our own way. So we sense how we're sitting and what it feels like to be supported by the chair, the bed, the floor, the contact that we feel. That's a support. And it's in the present. Very much present. Even if our mind is bustling all about, we are still feeling something real in the present. And then our skeletal structure, the amazing body that we have, if it's functioning at all well, supports us. It's quite amazing. The skeletal structure supports us. We just sense that support. And then there's an energetic support within the tradition, running from the center of the belly, in front of the spine, all the way to the crown, of a central channel, blue, about the thickness of our pinky, transparent, made of light, not discernible by surgeons. kind of mysterious inner channel within which energy flows. It's an energetic understanding of the body, but this is also a deep support for our practice. And then our eyes can either be completely shut or slightly open but unfocused, maybe directed towards about 3 feet in front of us. But not focusing on anything, just allowing the experience of vision to be occurring, but not looking, just open eyes, placid. And then maybe take 1, 2, or 3 deep breaths and choose where it's comfortable for you to observe the process of breathing. And see if you can observe that process, either at the nostrils, the upper lip, or in your throat, in your chest. Go all the way down to the inner belly. And once you're observing that, can you settle into that experience, whichever place you've decided to be that of focus? Settle into the process, the experience, the sensing of breathing. If people online would unmute, we can start chanting together. We say the syllable hong, hong twice on the exhale. Hong, resume mindfulness of the breathing for a short while. Notice the breath hitting the ring of the nostrils or the upper lip. Focus on that experience. Or the breath in the throat or in the chest. Or the movement of expansion and contraction centered about 3 or 4 finger widths below the navel, 3 or 4 finger widths, at a energetic point called the dough. Just what does it feel like at that point? Settle into the experience, whichever spot you're observing and experiencing, sensing. So we're going to take a little break right now. So when we meditate, we feel we're developing a certain kind of virtue, a certain kind of benefit. And we feel that we can take that benefit and share it with others, and that it can have a positive effect on them as well. It's not something we're going to prove scientifically, it's really an aspiration. It's an honorable aspiration that expands our minds and creates a beneficent, energetic connection between us and others. So we actually have a book within which we write down the names of people to whom we would like to share the merit, the virtue, the benefit of our practice. For those online, we ask you to write the names of anyone with whom you would like to share the merit of our practice. So we do that. And Shane, can you remind me what number we're on? Do you know? You don't even know? Okay, so I'm going to go to number 63. We might be there, we might be somewhere else. We're reading from a book collectively, Comfortable with Uncertainty by Pema Chodron. There's actually a lot of good stuff in this. I recommend it highly. You know, practice doesn't have to be enormously complicated for it to be enormously profound. She writes very simply, but she's dealing with things that are very deep. How is there going to be less aggression on the planet rather than more? Don't we need that now? Bring this question down to a personal level. How do I learn to communicate with somebody who is hurting me or hurting others? How do I communicate so that the space opens up and both of us begin to touch into some kind of basic intelligence that we all share? How do I communicate so that things that seem frozen, unworkable, and eternally aggressive begin to soften up and some kind of compassionate exchange begins to happen? Begin with being willing to feel what you are going through. Be willing to have a compassionate relationship with the parts of yourself that you feel are not worthy of existing. If you are willing through meditation to be mindful not only of what feels comfortable, but also of what pain feels like, if you even aspire to stay awake and open to what you're feeling, to recognize and acknowledge it as best as you can in each moment, then something begins to change. So those of you who are here for the first part of, we did a little talk from 10:30 to 11. I hadn't read this before, but this is exactly in touch with what I was sharing, that to the extent that we can be aware of ourselves, all of ourselves, not defended against knowing ourselves, we're in a better position to be compassionate and understanding of others. Anybody have any thoughts or feelings or reactions to what she's sharing? Knowing ourselves. Part of this is kind of knowing. Sometimes people talk about the shadow aspects of ourselves, the parts that are envious, the parts that are nasty, the parts that are angry, the parts that are petty. and being able to acknowledge them without shoving them down into the basement. Not acting them out, not playing them out, but just knowing I've got these interesting little gremlins, as does everyone. Anyone, anything to say locally? Befriending our gremlins. What we tend to do is see gremlins outside. It's them. This is going on writ large nowadays in the world, politically and unfortunately even militarily, with dire consequences, with losses of life. Yikes. Anybody, anything? If not, we will resume our meditation. We'll do a kind of mindfulness, hung mindfulness sandwich. We'll do a short period of mindfulness, some chanting, and back to mindfulness. We did forget to do our aspiration. Could we have put our aspirations up now and chant them? May all beings always have happiness and its causes. May all beings always be free of pain and its causes. May all beings always be pain-free and live happily. May no beings ever cling to those near nor spurn those far. For as long as space abides, as long as the world remains, just so long may I be there, resolving all beings' pain. So we resume attending to our breath. Notice our breath, how it hits our nostrils or our upper lip, or inside our throat or our chest, or the movement of the breath, the process of breathing through observing the belly, and in particular, the center of energy, 3 finger widths in and 4 finger widths below the navel, called the dough. Your eyes are slightly open but not focused. If there are thoughts, just let them come and go, like leaves on a stream. You get completely carried away and then kind of wake up to it. Just acknowledge that with thinking, or imagining. Delicate process of breathing. Bring a delicate discernment to your experience. We begin our chant. Om, 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 Gently bring attention back to your breath. Rest in the process of breathing. Sense the process. Settle into the process. As subtle as it can be. We have the dedication of merit and the blessing. So we dedicate our merit with the following verse. By this good may I swiftly once become a great guru, lead all beings, everyone, to reach to that very ground With all of you in mind, we light this lamp of clarity. May the glow of love, wisdom shine within us, everyone, till we all rise forth born in one enlightened mandala. And today, dedicate the benefit of this practice to all beings throughout space, and Bobby and Chemo, Doug McGregor and family, all hurricane victims, Dawn Peak, Gary Pugh, Romana and Keith Harding, Franz, Rachel, Devin, Ray, Edie, Thomas, Aisha, Emily, Jane, the Kohler family, Ukraine refugees, victims of Mideast, Eric's family, Anna and Nathan, Kiku, Ed Kaplan, Elon, Christine Rossi, Mikhail, David, Padma, Galina, Blue, Hi Cat, Bardo, Esther and family, Gabby, our teachers, our Sangha, all suffering animals, Daniel, Toby, Karen, Era, Nam, Ami, Davy, Michelle, Hunter, Barbara Ellman, Wells Westlake, Annie P., Annette, and Stephanie Cleary. We will chant an Ah, sending kindness to everyone who's been participating with us and to all beings in our neighborhoods, our cities, our states, our country, and throughout the planet, to all beings, the universe. So coming attractions are, we will have our ongoing first and third Tuesday on the third Tuesday of October. And in the first weekend of November, Lama Tenzin is teaching the All Creating Majesty commentary by Longchenpa. If you're interested, you're welcome. It's really something you can come into even if you haven't been attending all along. Every teaching is kind of, there's depth and availability of information that's very, very useful, especially with respect to Dzogchen. We'll continue to have our ongoing Sunday programs. So with that, we will wish everybody online a wonderful day. Lovely to see you. Stay well, stay healthy.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, Harvey.
Thank you, Harvey.
You're welcome all. Lovely to see everybody.
Beautiful
And
morning. Thank you.
thank you. And for those who are local, we have lunch for first Sunday. Take care, everybody.